Hello and welcome back to this board game life. My name is Mark, and I'm here today to do another painting video. But this time I'm not going to paint anything. I have finished painting all my miniatures in the base game. Yeah, look how big that is. Look, this is a big one. In my base game of Deep Rock Galactic, I have not started on the expansions. I have a lot of expansion content sitting over here on the shelf over on this side. Now behind me, I got shelves on in front of me on both sides too, and all my Deep Rock is over here in this right front shelf. But I had quite a few comments coming in from my painting, and it was awesome. It was, hey, where'd everybody go? It was really cool. I want to thank everybody for replying and responding with the for Carl and Rock and Stone. And if you've played the video game, you absolutely understand all the little things that people have been posting in the comments, making commentary from the video game, which is so awesome. But I did, and I had posted I did a video. It said final, but it was like of all the dwarves and from the original painting video that I did. And I have actually completed painting all of the minis for the base game. So I thought I'd come on, title this one. I think that the other one was final, but I should have done that because it wasn't final. This is final for the base game. So that's why I said base game. So I got to unpack it because I put it all away earlier. And now it's like, oh, wait, I should have left it all out so that I could do this video. So let me, freaking my dog's out. Let me take everything out of the box and I will show you. I'll show you what I painted. So I did a combination of the army painter. So let me show. I showed you kind of what I was doing. Now, these minis are going to be a combination of different markers. So I did a bunch with the Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 markers. These are pretty new for Army Painter to put out a marker. And then I also did some with my, I don't know, just some acrylic paint pens that I bought off Amazon. These are really cheap, very inexpensive, but they work really, really well. So I used both. Some were just Army Painters, some were just these. Some of the minis were a combination of using both. And I'll explain a little bit more why. But I did want to just say before I jump into it, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet subscribed, and hit that bell icon so you will not miss new content. And just a quick update. I heard from a little birdie named Rob. He's got his table. He is working. He is going to be recording. All right. He is going to be adding content to this channel. It's coming. He's in the process. He finally got, and I think I've told you this before, he's got a room like I do, but it was just full, floor to ceiling games. This dude has a huge library of games, puts mine to shame. And he finally has been working in there for a long time, trying to get it cleared up, trying to get it organized, trying to make a space so that he could set up a recording area. And he's got his table in. He's now working on, he's got some, the little things to have the overhead cameras on order coming in. He's getting closer to being able to do content for you guys. So again, you hit that bell icon so that you always know when any kind of new content's dropping from the channel. All right. So with that, I'm just going to start pulling stuff out. So I will give you, so I've got 2 trays, and I'm just going to, we're going to switch cameras, I think. And okay, so I got it really zoomed in. I'm going to pull them out of the tray to kind of show you, but in the tray, here's like the gray, the mountains I just did just base gray. So let me pull out, I'll pull the mountains out, right? Because they're the most boring, but these were used with a speed paint marker. So these are just, mountain stalactites, stalagmites, whatever. It just sit out there. All right, then we've got our base glyphids. So, and I'm not, I will say this, I am not an expert. There's a lot wrong on these things. They are by far not perfect. And if you ever want to see some amazing looking miniatures for this game, look out on BGG, look at the images. Wow. People have just done an amazing job. These are about as basic as you can get. My whole point is slap some color. I'm a novice. I want to slap color on here. Very easy, and these are meant to play. So, in fact, I can see right here there's missing a little splotch of paint. So you're going to see some areas. I can see them now that I'm looking at them and they've dried. I should probably go over and touch them up. But again, these are not for display. These are just to look cool out on the board and, sitting out there. So anyways, I got 18 of these guys and they all look the same. I just painted them all the same. So those are the glyphids. All right, then we've got, and I don't remember the names of all these. I'm going to pull out the monster board here. And I forgot that I had this. I could have used this to look at, to kind of figure out where's grunts. So they called them grunts. I was calling them glyphids. I think glyphids is just the name they use for all of them all together. So that was the grunt. So there's your basic grunt. Oh, I got my camera in the way. So I did them in green. I just kind of felt, and I know I couldn't remember from the video game exactly what color. I think they were multiple colors, and I know I've been playing a lot of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, which is a top-down awesome game. I am so addicted. And they have green, they have red, I think they have little brown ones. I just did them all one color because I'm like, when they're on the board, when I'm playing the board game, I don't want it to be confusing, like, oh, well, maybe this does something different. I just felt, especially if you got other players that don't know, I just wanted to have uniformity. So that's why all my grunts are the same color. Okay. Then I've got the exploder. Okay. So just kind of did, again, on all of these, I did the rocks just like this dark gray. And then I just kind of did some yellow and some orange and then some red at the bottom. Just trying to get some different layers of kind of trying to represent, so you can see some spots missed down in there. And again, I'm using markers, so it is harder to get. I think I could have still got that had I noticed it. But I'm not I'm just sploshing stuff on here. So you could definitely do better than what I did. So, but again, I kind of want to I'm just showing this off because I don't paint. Like that's not my thing. I'm not a painter. So I just kind of wanted to do this to show anybody can do this because I have no skills to this. And I just wanted you to see what you could kind of get an idea if you wanted to dabble in this. It's a very cheap way to get some color onto your minis or onto yourself. As you can see, I got blue paint still on me, but very little. This is my slasher. I've got two of these guys. I did them, and again, I did these guys all the same. So I did this kind of a dark brown, and then this was this is with the army painter. So this was like their hardened leather, I think is the name of the color, and this is like a pallid bone. And I thought this looked cool, kind of like this is his sharp, the bones would be the spears. Some of the creatures I like him, I left gray for his teeth. Some of them I actually do have. My other markers, I do have a white, and I did do some of them white, and I might go back and touch these up. I think I liked the ones I did the teeth white. I think I like that as opposed to leaving them gray, but I thought this turned out really good. Really like how the different shades of the brown that I've got on here and the way it turned out. It looks like I shaded that on purpose. I didn't. That's just kind of the way it laid out. And I'm really, really happy with how that turned out. All right, next I think this is the Warden. Let me flip my board over. Yeah, the Warden. So this guy, this is I did his front because this in the game opens up and like this provides this purple shield that goes over him. So I actually did purple on here. I kind of did the tail portion of it that sticks out a little purplish. Put a little stripe up on his mouth. And again, I did everybody's mouth like just red inside. But I mean, you can do whatever you want, obviously. I did look at pictures on BGG. There was a lot out there, and I went for. Did I miss a big chunk? I missed his whole back there. Oh well, provides character. When you're doing, I did a whole bunch of these just over the last couple of days, just boom, 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 knocking stuff out. So it doesn't take a long time, but it, like I said, they're not perfect. You can do a much better job than what I did. But anyways, I'm really happy regardless of how they turned out. I think this is going to annoy me though. I'm going to have to touch him up with some little brown, but yeah, it looks, I love how it shaded like in this. So this type of coloring and the darker and lighter, you can get that with the Army Painter paints. So like I was showing you, I got different kinds here. So with these kind of cheap ones, these work really well. Okay, so I keep saying they're cheap. They are inexpensive. Like I got 50 something of these off Amazon for maybe $20, if that. This for a pack, and this was like 50 something markers. This is a pack of 10 for like $55. Big difference in price. I think, and when I was using both of these, I think the advantage of these is that I got a lot of different colors for like half the price of these. I got like 50 something colors, and this came with 10. And so that is advantage to the cheaper ones. It does have a fine and a brush tipped, so you can try to get a little finer. However, the bonus here is that this has a much smaller, the way the pen is designed, I can get it further into smaller places, and this is a lot easier to get into tight spaces as opposed to this. And you can replace these tips if they ever dry out. And then there is what do you call it in here? A ball to mix the paint. This is, I'm not sure how it's stored in here. There is no ball, there's no mixing, and but I see the benefits of both of these. If this is too expensive, you don't want to spend the $50 for just 10 colors with the Army Painter, go look out on Amazon and look for just some acrylic paint markers. This is water-based acrylic. I mean, I'll show you some that I did today using just these. And so, but the Army Painter is going to allow you to do a little bit more like this. Like you can put, because it's speed paint, so it'll even show you at the top, like your initial apply here of the yellow will be that. If you apply some more, it can be that it goes darker. So that's what these like stripes are at the top, kind of showing you as you first lay it out, you want it to go darker, you go over it again like a second layer and it will get darker. And all of the speed paints do that. Okay, where these are just, that's the color. Now you can probably still get some layering, but I'll show you kind of the difference. I think it's a lot easier to get with the speed markers. Okay, so next we've got my web spitter. Just went with kind of a weird, this one was a lot harder to do. So this one, there's a lot more gaps. You can see a lot more gray up under there under the belly. I couldn't get my markers in here. And I think even the speed paints, I'm not going to get down in there. So this is where having a brush, paintbrush set's much better, because you can put a small paintbrush and get in there and get those areas where you just can't with a marker. So again, you might want to just use paintbrushes. So, but I did apply, this here is all with this brand, the purple and this metallic-y, like, Oh, and this guy actually did some black in the mouth with the very middle red. Thought I would try that. But then again, if they're sitting like this on the table, when they're sitting like this on the table, I'm not going to see the underside anyways. That's kind of my viewpoint, right? All right, then the last one from this tray, which I love how these turned out. I think these are just sharp. I am super happy with these. I love how this one was all the speed paint markers from Army Painter. And I absolutely love how this turned out. I think the color on here is amazing. And, it laid out so well. And I think these look so cool. I'm really, really happy with this one. All right. So that's that tray. I got one more tray to show you. And they're going to get bigger. The creatures are bigger. And then, of course, you'll see the dwarves and all the main characters, but I'm going to show off all the monsters first. So, all right, here's the next one. Put that away. This is my Spitball Infector. I really like, again, how he turned out. This one was all done, again, with the speed paint markers from Army Painter. And I love the colors of the speed paints. My only issue with the speed paint markers is that there's just not enough colors out there. And you can get darker colors, but like they don't have white. And that's why originally I wasn't doing teeth. Now this guy, I just colored it over. I colored his teeth at the top blue and the bottom just the green to match. Because this guy's supposed to be more plant-based. And I thought, that's fine. He doesn't need white teeth. But I really do dig how this turned out. So that's that guy. And I got 3 of them. And I painted them all the same. All right, then let's go to this guy. I think this turned out pretty cool too. So this is, what's he called? Is he on here? He's got to be on here. Yeah, the Brood Nexus. So it looks like he's eating a grunt, but actually this thing spits grunts out in the game. So he's actually putting more grunts into the game. And that's the Brood Nexus. So, but again, I just put some little colors, different kind of variations. I kind of felt like these were almost like eyeballs and stuff. I think that especially here you can kind of see, kind of looks like they're supposed to be eyeballs. But I liked the green color. And then I just went with this, this is called the Palleted Bone for the, on the Army Painters. And then I painted my grunt here to match the ones and how I painted all the rest. So, but I'm really happy with how that turned out too. Okay, we got a couple more here. Then I'll show you the dwarves and stuff. So this one is I think this is this is the Praetorians. So these are, again, you can see like this kind of metallic, I only had one metallic paint in the Army Painter. So this, and it's not this color. So this one, except for the rock, was done on the Army Painter. The rest of this was all done with my less expensive, your traditional hobby markers. And then you can see he's got white teeth, which it just stands out a little bit better. And I might end up going back and doing white on all the other teeth of those that I didn't, because it does stand out a little bit more. I like that. And but yeah, I mean, even with the less expensive markers, you can see I hit a couple spots where my marker touched. And again, I'm not that I'm just happy to see it on the table and looking like it does. It looks awesome. So again, if you are very detail oriented or want it to really look good, markers probably are not the best option, especially because you just can't get into the fine detail. And you're going to have some gaps underneath in places you can't get the marker. So, and then if you are trying to use markers and then say, well, I'll touch up with the paint. Well, you're going to have to find a paint that matches exactly, and that's going to be really hard to do. Unless you're using the army painters, because they have those same colors in bottles. Okay, so last one here. This is my Praetorian. He's the big baddie. And yeah, I just kind of went with some orange, this dark green. This was this green here. So if you notice, so this is what I was talking about earlier. So you can see this like brownish color. See how it's got different shades? This is me just using a speed paint, just kind of going over some stuff, and you can see some places it got hit. I might have gone over it a little second time or something, or got a little bit darker. This is with the, you're not getting that same type of shading. This is not the army painters. So like this would have looked better with the army painter. I think that this is like a really good example of the difference. You really get that different type of shading and filling in. You can get that with the army painter as opposed to a non-army painter. So again, it's really what you're going for. I personally am super happy with all of them. I am so excited to have these painted. And so there's just going to be color now when I break the game out and play it. It's so much better than everything being gray. Okay, so let's get down to the dwarf. Leave the dwarves for last. So here's Bosco. He is the little robot that runs around with you in the single player game. He flies around and does different things. So that's Bosco. We do have Molly, the mule. So this is the one, and it does, the lid comes up. I didn't paint the inside, like you're not going to see it, right? But in this game, in the video game, you call Molly around, it comes over and you offload your crystals and your rocks and gems. In this game, the lid comes off and you can actually throw the physical gems inside the Molly unit. I didn't bother to paint the inside. And the white it doesn't really do a good job, especially on a big surface like this. It'd probably be better if I had primed it. But then again, I kind of like the way it looks kind of washed out, and because it looks more like it's been used. So it kind of actually worked in my favor, I think. All right. Here's a sentry gun. We're almost done. Here's a little sentry gun that I painted up. So the engineer would typically have this. And that's what my little sentry gun looks like. Then we have the drop pod. Now, this is the silver for the army painter. It is a metallic. It's the one metallic that was in that kit. And I'm hoping that they're successful and that they'll expand their painter markers to include more colors. But again, it's a higher end product, and it does show up. I can see the difference between their product and the less expensive markers. So, all right. So the last thing I got is 4 dwarves. Here is my gunner. Again, really happy how this turned out. Really, really pleased with the look. And just again, this one was all army painter, and I just love how the paint lays out. You can get a little bit of shading on it. It almost, it how you lay it out. It's so easy to get kind of like a layered look there. I think that's so awesome. I don't know if layer is the right term, but so here's the engineer. So, whoops, let me get all of him in there. Oh, I need to paint his rock. Oh, I didn't do their rocks. I guess I'm not done. I need to do their rocks they're standing on. I'm going to have to hit them with some little gray on their rocks. I want that. I don't paint the base because it's like some of them I had like black boots. Some I had like this guy's brown boots. So it's like what am I going to paint the base, I think I have one with black boots, and he's standing on the base. He doesn't have his, well, even here, if it was black, I wouldn't want his boots. It would just blend in. So I'm leaving the base as gray, but I do need to hit that. I do need to get the rocks painted there. I did miss that. Okay. We got the driller. Yeah, see, now the driller's got the black boots. And I don't want to paint the base black because then it would blend in too much. So, but I need to hit his little rock as well. But I love that silver metallic and the way it turned out. It looks so sharp on here. And again, like that different coloring where it just looks like it's got used to it. It just looks like it's got wear. That was nothing special. I don't know how to do that. I'm just painting the thing, and that's how it turns out. I'm like, that is so awesome. So, and the last one is the Scout. So, very pleased with how these guys all turned out. Far from perfect. In fact, I think this was the very first one I did. You can see I really probably need to get a little bit more brown up on his backpack there, and definitely could do some touch up on these things. But again, I'm happy. I'm good with it, to be honest. So I'm good with it. All right. So that was a look at Deep Rock Galactic's. Oh, Molly! All the miniatures. Let me take her out. So they're just kind of a quick glance again. And really appreciate you all watching this again. I have loved the comments. Thank you for commenting. I really appreciate it. Let me know. And if you, I'm not going to tip this one over because all these guys will fall out. And they already did. I barely even, because these guys just sit there. Whoop, let's put them back. Push. A bunch of them just tip. So get them in there close to that camera. So. Again, anyways, thank you for commenting on the video and liking it. Really, really do appreciate it. And let me know if you've got any comments, questions. I do reply back to all the comments. And thank you so much. Have a great day. Maybe we'll see you at the painting table. All right. Take care.